It's episode 18 of the PGP podcast. Josh Tabarpa, principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA, ready to rock and roll and learn from our principal roundtable to some big hitters like always on the PGP podcast, part of the Fantastic Four with Coach Hurt, Shika Houston, Tammy Taylor, and Principal Cafele. Hopefully they'll be able to join us and do a drop by and say, hello, what's going on? Let's send out some safe travels, some positive vibes to Dr. Moreno. As we all know, she decided to go visit one of her students, former students in Honduras. I don't know where she's at. I don't know how Wi-Fi works in Honduras, but you know what? Ultimately, she is a very important part of the show, and we wish her the best to make sure she comes back next week. Hey, and you know what? I wanted to start off something, just thoughts and prayers for Appalachia High School in Georgia. I think that's one of those things that when I do orientation at Memorial, when we bring in students to our campus, I always talk to the parents about safety because I receive students from all 7 comprehensive high schools in Garland ISD. And I have no idea. It doesn't get better. And I think my colleagues can concur that every time us that sit in our chair hear about a shooting, we have those restless moments for a while. And it never ends. It never gets any better. So it's very important that we all talk to our kids, either as a parent to our child, administration to our faculty, that we can't get lax. You know, that's one of the things. And during our announcements, I did talk to our staff about, you know, we can't be lax thinking that it can't happen to us. If it could happen to beautiful children in Sandy Hook and Tuvalle, it could happen to anybody. And that's one of the challenging things for people that sit in my chair and in our coming up podcast members, that it even throws me off for a loop because I know what to say all the time, except for this because it really hits us. It really hits us as educators and as leaders. Are we doing everything? So if you're out there, please make sure, wish you nothing but the best. Starting off this school year coming in, some of you just barely started. Some of you are starting tomorrow. But you know what? Let's think about safety. Let's make sure that we are on the lookout, making sure that our kids are wearing their IDs. Parents talk to them about. There's no such thing as a funny saying, and I think my colleagues can also attest to that. Sometimes kids say in a joke, we're past that. We're past those kind of things, and so it's very important that we send out our love and our prayer for everybody. My understanding is that we've already had 45 shootings in the United States. 45 guys, and so it is the world that we live in. It's challenging. That's why we need to make sure that we're stronger together. Parents, students, and campus members, that we move forward and always vigilant for the safety of everybody out there. So, I mean, I don't like to start off with Debbie Downer, but you know what? That's the reality of the shoes that we walk in out there. And I want to also make sure that we start off something new. And I see Dr. Moreno. I think, is that you, Moreno? There we go, Dr. Moreno. All right, Moreno. I see you got the break. Can I hear you?
I made it.
Okay, I told you not to rush, dude. But you know what? And as I told Dr. Moreno, I wanted to get started off with a little quick segment, 2 minutes. That's called Chinchilagua. Do you know what Chinchilagua is, Dr. Moreno?
I've never heard of that. Ever.
What is that? Chinchilagua is a game played by people in Mexico. Kids line up like in a caterpillar. And then there's a kid at the end, and he says, Chinchilagua y arriba boy. And what he does is that he or she jumps on top of the other ones, and the other ones get on top of the other ones. Yeah, I understand safety issues, I understand. But you know what? That's a cultural thing. But what do I mean by that? What I mean is that it's a fun thing playing that game. It's part of our culture. It's fun, but it also can be challenging. And part of that, I just like to give during this moment at the start of each show is 2 minutes, just some advice out there. I'm a very old fart. This is year 32 for me. Getting close to the end of my career, and I just like some quick advice. Hey, if you're a middle school coach, please make sure that you help out all those kids love the sport. Please make sure that you encourage them to be part of something. And I suggest if you are a middle school coach, and it's not easy to get coaches. If you're in middle school, you know that. We cannot find coaches. I was a middle school teacher, and I coached everything because we didn't have enough coaches. But you know what? Coach, instill the love of a sport don't run up the score on another school and play all your kids, because that really takes away from a program. And I've been on sidelines where coaches run up the score. Well, what do you get from that? I don't understand that. You demoralize everybody. And not only that, you don't give the opportunity to really learn what the plays are, because by the time that the score is 28-0, kids are demoralized and you're just going to be running over them. And that creates a dislike for the sport. So, hey, middle school coach, I know that you want to move up the ranks. I've been there. I understand. I was a middle school coach, but you know what? There's a way of how to do it. So it's very important that you do bring in everybody in a positive way for the love of athletics, because you know what? A lot of beautiful things do happen through the athletic route. You got a chinchilagua there, Dr. Moreno?
Hey, you know what? I'm just super excited. I learned a lot about Garifuna yesterday. I'm in Honduras. That's why my hair is the way it is. And I ran over here because I just had to go through San Pedro Sula, which was a very dangerous place. But gracias. But yeah, I made it through the city, and I am here in El Progreso now. And but I was not going to miss your show, Josh. I was not going to do that.
So do you got a chinchilagua moment, some advice out there? 2 minutes.
You know what I have to say is exactly what you were talking about as far as that score. I mean, it's so important. I've seen football games where it's like 49-0. Like no one even cares anymore, right? So I would probably just kind of piggyback on that, just because I'm running and I'm sweating right now. But just all those people out there right now, it is hot here. It really is hot. Everybody out there, I want you to seriously just take a moment and truly start talking to your kids and really pay attention to what they're saying. There's so many kids out there that are looking for someone to talk to. And so please take that time and really listen to them and get to know them. They need to see role models, and they really need to hear our advice to them. So it's great time to kind of talk to them right now.
Beautiful. And you know what? Who wants to talk to everybody out there? Our awesome guest, Dr. Moreno. We have the best of the best across the United States, from Connecticut, from Colorado, from North Texas. I don't know if Mr. New Jersey's in the house. No, he's not here. He's still waiting for the grand entrance right now. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here at the PGP podcast. And we have our Principals Roundtable number 2. We're going to go around, introduce yourself, and tell the audience, please, let them know your name, where you're from, what roles that you've served. What roles have you served? Teaching-wise, if you've coached anything. And then after that, which one was your favorite out of all those roles? We'll start off with our former and still Principal of the Year for the United States, TASSP, Ms. Donna Hayward. Welcome. Introduce yourself.
Hey there, Josh. Nice to be with you again. So I'm Donna Hayward. I am the principal of Haddam Killingworth High School in Little Higganum, Connecticut. This is, let's see. So before I was a principal, I started out in education as a high school math teacher. I spent my whole career in Connecticut, although I'm not from Connecticut. I hail originally from Vermont, kind of migrated south a state at a time. State of New England. So after being a math teacher, I was an assistant principal at the high school level, and then a principal. And yes, I was a coach. So in my first years, I coached basketball, and I also coached field hockey, which interestingly enough, I had never played before I coached.
And which one was your favorite?
Oh, which role was my favorite? I think being a principal is my favorite, honestly. It's just kind of who I am.
Appreciate that. Like to welcome George Valenzuela to the house. Great speaker, writer, author for Solution Tree. Thank you for being here, hermano. Appreciate you sharing the show with us. And part of the Fantastic Four, Melissa Jones-Chunu and Dot McKeever-Cheever. Thank you for being here. And Donna Garrett. Fantastic Four here, family. They're all around. And our current Texas Principal of the Year in the house. Ms. Morales, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, yes, I'm Angeline Morales. I'm the proud principal at Ouida Bailey Middle School here in Royce City, Texas. And we're just about 30 minutes from Dallas. I started teaching in 2nd grade and pretty much taught everything at the elementary level. and then moved into an ESL specialist position for our district and was a SPED liaison between the district and some campuses. And then I was the assistant principal at elementary for 8 years, and then an elementary principal for 2, and then took a leap into the secondary world 7 years ago, and have been the principal at our middle school for 7 years. I've never coached, but I have 4 boys, and I did coach their teams when they were little, so that counts. But I would have to say my favorite has been the principal role.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Great. From Colorado, Mr. TikTok creator himself, Mr. Social Media, Justin. Talk to the world.
Hey everybody, Justin McMillan, principal at Quist Middle School in Colorado. This is my 17th year as a principal. Before I was a principal, I was a science teacher at the high school and middle school level. Before that, I was in the Air Force. Before that, I was a coal miner. Before that, I was actually a rancher. So I've officially worked a mile above ground, a mile across the ground, and a mile up, just everywhere.
Wow.
But the greatest job that I've ever had is middle school principal at Quist Middle School in the school district 27J in Colorado.
Thank you for sharing that. And Mr. Reflection Saturday here with his new merch. That guy's selling his merch. Buy that guy over there in the corner there, right there. Mr. Reflection. right there, down there. Mr. New Jersey in the house. Nick, introduce yourself. Tell people the roles that you've served and which one has been your most favorite.
First of all, I'm sorry. This is tough. Like, I have a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, preschool, kindergarten. My dog, like, we've been gone all day long. This is what happens when you're a principal. Craziness happens. Nick Edwards, New Jersey, Dover School District, Academy Street School. This is my brand. Be kind, work hard, be great. I'm so happy to be here. I apologize. I'm so blessed to be with these wonderful people. I can't wait to listen to them. It's very excited. So thank you. Sorry, but kids, this does happen. Children are in the house. Love you all. Let's go. Let's rock.
You're good. Now, Nick, you didn't finish it off. What was your favorite role?
Being a principal, of course. I got to be a principal.
Right.
My whole life, I've been a teacher, and I went to assistant principal. But in 3 weeks, I became a principal, and 4th grade teacher to a principal. That's my life. Teacher to principal, big jump. Excited to be here. Can't wait to listen to your stories and ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Hey, I'd like to welcome to the house Mr. David Arencibia, last year's Texas Principal of the Year. He was in episode 3 of the PGP podcast talking about an elite culture. So get that guy's book also. Make sure you pick out it because you know what? There's nothing but nuggets of knowledge out there. Dr. Moreno, take it away.
And you know what? Everybody around here said that they were, their favorite role was being a principal. So my question to you is, what or who motivated you to become an educator? So we're going to start off with Miss Angelina, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, I originally wanted to start out being an attorney and then saw what the cost of school was. And so changed my mind. But then I experienced just something that happened in my life and as a student, and realized the people that set me back on a course to be successful were all the educators that were in my life, and that they were the ones that inspired me, because there were some things I could have just become a statistic out there in the world. And it was those teachers that saw the potential that I had as a student and just as a human, and had my back the whole way and encouraged me to just go to college and give back. So my why for all of that is that I continue to just pay it forward for all students.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Nick, what or who motivated you, or what made you become an educator?
Bob Sprague. I had an amazing principal when I was a teacher in Kearney, New Jersey. He was incredible mentor. I just saw what he did in the building, and I wanted to be like that. And I was a coach, and I was a teacher, and I thought I wanted to become a principal in the future, but I had to grow fast. And I had a conversation with him, and he was like, you know what, you could do it. You can definitely do this. And I went to grad school, and picked his brain, and in 3 months I became a principal. Very
And here you are.
very wild teacher to assistant principal, and it was amazing experience, but I would not want it happen any other way. So Bob Sprague, definitely, he was the man that helped me get to where I am today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Donna.
So yeah, hi. So like Angelique, I was going to be an attorney. I was actually headed to law school, taking the LSAT and everything, and my teachers and friends all thought I was going to be an educator the entire time I was going through school, and I fought it. Nope, nope, nope. That's too obvious. I'm not going to do that. And then I was all ready to go to law school, and then thought about, wait a minute, what does this life look like? And I thought to myself, I will be angry every day of my life if I'm a lawyer. I'm going to do nothing but argue, and I don't want that. And so I headed back to school, went to grad school, and became an educator. I also had an opportunity when I was in my senior year of college to go back to my own high school and substitute back in the day when you didn't need a college degree yet to be a sub. My high school math teacher called me up and had an opportunity to travel near the end of the year. And the principal said he could go as long as he could find his own sub. And so I actually went back to my own high school and substituted, which was a cool experience, and loved it. So I remembered that when I bailed on the attorney plan, and here I am.
Well, to be honest, I think principals kind of work a lot like attorneys, right? We have to see all
Some days,
sides.
that's right. Some days we really, really do. And I can win an argument with a rock. So, you know.
Yeah. Justin, what about you?
So the big reason why I'm in education is my father, Mike McMillan, 41 years in education, showed the way, modeled the way. And when I was in the Air Force Academy, I wanted to get into education, and I pursued that path. And now year 17 as far as a principal. And the other day, one of these 8th graders came up to me and he said, "McMillan, you could be flying F-22s right now, and that you're on lunch duty. What's up with that?" And I'm like, no, I believe we're literally saving lives. We're champion for kids. There is nothing absolutely that I'd rather do in this world. I think I have the greatest job in the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Well, let's peel the. You know what? The purpose of a lot of these questions is that I wanted to make sure that we found a place to where people could research people that have walked those shoes and learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think that, oh, to be a principal, you had to have been a teacher, and then no. Our pathways come from different directions, like you've just mentioned right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna peel that onion a little bit back, Nick. I want you to tell me how you, my man, how you were a student in high school. Don't fake the funk, like Principal Cafela says. How were you a student in high school and college? And then tell everybody, how was your first year as a teacher? 2-part, all right? How are you as a student? And then how was your first year as a teacher?
I love how you pull that behind. Like, I was a terrible student, man. I was terrible. That's why I love the connections I have nowadays, because I was a C student, man. That's what I'm about. And that's why I connect so well, because I wasn't that A-B student. I struggled with comprehension. I didn't care. I thought I was going to be a Major League Baseball player. I did very well in college. I played Division I baseball, and I thought that was my future, to play professional baseball. But then I realized that I was not going to be a professional baseball player, but I always worked with students. I always did a summer program with students. I love kids. That's all I know. I don't know business. I don't know anything else. I just know kids, children, and I wanted to be a teacher. And my first year of teaching was awesome. But looking back now, being in the role of a principal, sitting in this chair, I thought you had to be the disciplinarian. I thought you had to be the tough guy. And sitting now in the chair, that's totally wrong. You have to sit back, breathe, relax, and have a conversation with children nowadays, where I thought I had to yell, be a football coach, be a baseball coach, and be a disciplinarian. And it's totally wrong. You have to sit, relax, have a conversation with the children, and just see what the struggles that they're going through. And you can reflect and do what you have to do, what's best to help that child. So my first year of teaching, terrible. I thought I was the big tough guy and principal of a teacher and yell and this and that. Now sitting in the chair, I tell all my teachers, reflect, relax, have a conversation, talk to a child. They are dealing with a lot more stress than we are. So now it's just learning, still learning in this chair, but talking to teachers and say, reflect, relax, have a conversation with each other.
All right, great. Thanks. Hey, you might want to check it. Your audio is coming in a little bit fuzzy in the back there, Nick. Just as a
Sorry,
heads up.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Justin, talk to us. Justin.
Hey everybody. So as a student, I mean, I got into the Air Force Academy, so I have to admit I was a very, very, very good student. And bringing everybody together, and I always looked out for the students who were outliers, who were not involved, and bringing them closer. So I was student body president and all those things of, champion for every person, even back when I was a high schooler. And then at first year teaching, actually my first year as student teaching, I walked in, I was student teaching at Grand Junction High School, and my two mentor teachers, this is not good practice, pretty much said, I'll see you at the end of the semester. And they went off to go have coffee every day. So my first year teaching was actually my student teaching year, and I rocked it with high school kids. I absolutely loved every second of it.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's another reason, hey, we're getting a bunch of brand new teachers, right? All certs. And so this is a type of conversation that, hey, educator, show this conversation to people out there that, I'm not cut out to be a teacher. Yes, you have all the extremes as long as you have the passion for kids.
Exactly.
Our awesome principal of Texas for this year. Talk to us.
Well, I was a great student up until about my junior year of high school, and got into some trouble, mostly with friends that I had made. I was just looking for adventure and found it in places I probably should never have attended. But when I started teaching, I was in inner city Dallas my first 4 years of teaching. And while that was the most rewarding time that I have ever really had is working with those kiddos, my advice to all teachers, I tell them most of the time that I would have fired myself my first year. But I tell them just keep asking the questions and know that there is a whole network out there to keep going and finding what works for you, what's best for you. But mostly, like Nick said, just every kid has a story, and every kid needs somebody to champion them and be in their corner. And that could be you every day. And so I make sure teachers know, yes, we've got content and curriculum to go after, but you also are there for a kid. You're there for a reason, and it's going to be a kid that's going to walk through your door someday.
Yeah. Yep.
Que bonito. I love it. Donna, talk to us.
Yeah, so I was also a great student. I loved school. Was all in, did all the things, all the activities, straight A's, the whole 9 yards, which is probably no surprise then I stayed in school forever. My first year of teaching, though, I think the biggest shock was, meeting all the kids who didn't love school. And as a first year teacher, as is too often the case, I was assigned the hardest classes. I was assigned the lowest level, academic classes, the most disenfranchised students. It's amazing when folks assign, the hardest classes to the new teacher. Why is that? That doesn't make any sense. It should be your most gifted teachers that teach those students. But anyway, so I had to swim. And so I built relationships with those kids, and I loved those kids. I still remember every one of them, and they came to see me years later. So my first year was all about learning how to reach the kids who didn't just love school like I did. What a foreign concept to me. But I didn't forget how hard that year was. It was exhausting. And at least as principal now, I can make sure that our youngest teachers, our newest teachers are not assigned to those classes, and then just kind of left to swim on their own. I swam, but it's amazing I stuck with it. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, everybody. Appreciate it. Dr. Moreno?
And you bring up a good point, because you're talking about those teachers that are brand new, right? And with the teacher shortage, I want to know how you're addressing that 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 problem, right? The fact that we have a teacher shortage and we have so many new teachers that are coming in through alternative certification.
Yeah.
So Justin, kind of think about you as a principal now. How are you supporting and how are you addressing the teacher shortage?
Yeah, so the big thing is making sure connecting in with people on a regular basis. So our new teachers are well supported. They have mentors that are meeting with them every single week, and not assuming, even somebody who's brand new to the building but might have 10 plus 20 plus years experience, not assuming that they just have everything there. So it's setting up a scenario of I got you versus gotcha scenario. So
Yes.
you'll never see me in my office. You'll see me in the classrooms, setting up our leadership team where they're getting into the classrooms on a regular basis. Not only to give feedback, but to check in. How are things going? How's the home life going? How are they balancing all those aspects that make this education job so difficult? The hard part about
Mhm.
teaching is that it's the most important job, and the hardest part is that it matters every day. So teachers that are really holding themselves to a high standard are feeling that burnout, that stress of I have to meet 100% of my kids.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's a tough deal, but we got you on that.
And taking care of themselves. I love that you said that, right? Because that's something that we need to make sure that we take care of our teachers and having that self-care. So thank you for sharing. Angelina?
Yeah, so we have a lot. I still have vacancies right now, and we're in September. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's tough. So, with the teachers that we do have, we are working really hard, with all the processes that we have in place, PLCs, making sure that they have all the information that they need to feel successful going back in. We have set up a schedule during the school day that our department heads, we have mentors, but our department heads are being covered so that they can go into those classrooms in a non-evaluative way and provide like real-time feedback to those teachers, almost a co-teach model, so that they can have somebody that is knowledgeable in their content, giving them, some instructional coaching. And we have instructional coaches, we have curriculum coordinators that are supporting them as well. One of the things that we just started towards the end of last year is we do an after-school special. And so it basically is the new teachers will bring us either a problem or a question that they have. And we all sit, whoever can attend, they all sit and try to problem solve that and give them, what they might do or suggestions of where to go. But we've also really started to implement all the instructional rounds. We kind of got away from it, but we've gone back to it. So those teachers can also go into other teachers' classrooms and see good teaching and good practices and try to borrow and take from all of them. Like you said, a lot of our alt cert teachers didn't have a lengthy student teaching. I almost feel like some of them were factory produced. So not to their fault, but some of these companies, depending on who they go through, I feel like sometimes they don't give them everything that they need.
Exactly.
So, so we feel like that's, part of our job now, and making sure that they have all the tools and equipping them so they can be successful in their classrooms.
Awesome. And I love the fact that you have a safe space for them where they can come and bring those problems. Because, how else are they going to get that done, right? So awesome. Thank you. Donna?
So there are two parts from my perspective to bringing in the teachers. First of all, you got to go find them, and we are being pretty aggressive now in terms of finding them. We've opened fully staffed every year, including this year, which was no small feat. But I find myself hiring folks who have not gone through the formal teacher training yet. So I'm often hiring them twice now this year. I hired teachers who had just graduated from their undergrad program but hadn't completed their master's degree and earned that teaching certificate yet, which is what's traditionally required in Connecticut. So we're kind of more of a grow your own model right now, which is fine with me because I happen to be blessed with amazing talented veteran teachers, and pretty regularly now I'm saying, okay, this is our best candidate, and he or she is young and super green, and we're going to have to build a teacher. Can you do that? And my veteran staff, of course, always says, yep, let's go.
Let's do it.
And they build them. And most of the time, those folks are more successful than a lot of the candidates coming out of some of the best programs. So thing number one is getting them in the house. Thing number two is keeping them in the house.
Absolutely.
Years back, we implemented what we call new teacher academies. So on top of the new teacher orientation that every district kind of gives and that we give too, we just realized how much information there is for new teachers and how completely overwhelming it is. And by the time we see them at the day 2 of their new teacher orientation, they kind of got the glazed look across their face. They can't absorb one more thing. And then, you say, or do you have any questions? They just kind of look at us like, I'm so tired. I don't even know what my questions are. So we started doing New Teacher Academy, which is like once a week or so for the first month and a half of school. And we try to put in front of them exactly the right information that they need then. So for example, first thing out of the chute, we talk about, because open house is right away this next week. Okay, here's what you need to know for open house. The schedule is this, put together that, have a little whatever little nugget of information they need in a timely manner, they can digest it that way instead of trying to learn and know everything all at once in that new teacher orientation. And we check in with them. We also check in with them, in a very formal way midway through the year and tell them that's usually when new teacher energy really is at a low. And they're thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I've entered the wrong profession. I can't do this. I'm never going to make it to the end of the year. That is statistically their lowest point. So we get them then, we tell them, we show them the statistics, how that is everybody's low point their first year, and they're going to make it. And we give them what they need to get through that first year. And if they can get that first year under their belt and feel like they really stuck the landing, they're coming back for year 2. So that's where
Awesome. So Nick, I'm going to go to you next, but anybody out there, if there's anything that you have, or anybody in the audience that has something to share, please put it on the comments. We'd love to hear from you too. And then for the panel, notice there is a question on the screen. What are strategies that you use to retain teachers? So we're going to get back to that one in just a minute after we talk to Nick. But if there's anything out there that you already want to think about it, that'd be great. So Nick, how do you support your alternative certification teachers?
Every single day you have to walk the building. Every single day I check in with my teachers. Go into the classroom, thumbs up. Do you need anything? Especially new teachers. This is a different era than we probably started like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. It was very different. I think we have to support our teachers. What do you need? What questions do you have? But if they see us in the building and checking on them daily, it takes a lot of stress off their plate. And no matter what, if we are walking the building visually, the children see us. They're excited to see the principal in the building or assistant principal. Hey, Mr. Edwards coming into the building, they're giving high fives, thumbs up, this and that. You have to be positive because that energy goes into the classroom and it takes away the new teacher that is so new to this profession. They're like in the classroom, tense, all shaken up. It takes a lot off them. And no matter what, we can always have that conversation. Hey, come by at 2:30. Is there anything going on that you need our help or an administration support that we can help you and support you every single day? Because it is very different from where we probably all started 15 years ago.
Yes.
It's so different nowadays. So when we are in the building, we need to step in the classroom, take that stress off that new teacher or even our veteran teachers. Hey, how's everyone going today? Take it off, everybody. Teachers have enough of responsibility, and it's our goal as a professional and the leader of the building to take that stress every day. How are we doing today? Put a smile on the kid's face. We are smiling. It's very tough some days to put that smile on the face, but it's our job as the leader of the building to put that smile on every single day and take that stress off that teacher.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you anymore, because that is so, so, so true. But it's also important to retain them. I mean, we're training them, we're giving them all the support, and we're giving them all the professional development. But then how do we keep them? Everybody from our veteran teachers, because we got to keep them too. We don't want them to leave either because of stress or whatnot. So I'm going to leave it, I'm going to open it up to the panel. Anybody?
I'm gonna really fire this right. All I care about is you love my children. You know, now being a dad and my children are going to school, kindergarten, preschool, love my child. Okay. So when you love my child, you're gonna get the respect. Teaching comes second, you know, build that relationship with the child, love them, pick them up, smile. How are you today? This and that. No matter what, this profession is always about the child. It's not about us. It's not about the principal. It's not about the teacher. It's about the children. So love the children first. And no matter what, you're always going to succeed in this profession. Love the child. Be smiling. Be happy. No matter what, we have a lot of stuff to deal with on a regular basis. But smile. No matter what, smile can always win throughout the day.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
I think we need to talk to our teachers. We started this year off talking to our teachers about joy. You said, how do you keep them? How do you keep even your veteran teachers? We talked about bringing, joy consciously back into the work day and the work week, and fun. We pointed out that you spend, most of your waking hours, honestly, at school.
Yes.
More hours at school than you do home with your family. So you need to really build your tribe there. You need to build a professional family there. So we have fun together. We plan activities together. I even asked for a group of teachers to come together to sort of be in charge of planning those things this year, because you get one life. You have to have fun.
True. Justin, Angelina, do you have anything else so we can move on to the next question?
Yeah, I think people stay in the building that they feel connected to, that they feel like they're a part of a team, that they own and are part of the vision and the mission. Things aren't just done to them. They're not independent contractors. So people stay a lot of times based on who they work with and who is leading the building. And if they're a part of that leadership and a part of where that building's going, they're going to stay.
Yeah, they follow their leader. Absolutely. I believe in that.
Yeah, I would agree. It's all about connections and the relationships that you have with each of them. Knowing every detail about them is so important, but just letting them know too that, family's always going to come first. I think everybody has so many things on their plate that they're dealing with, and everywhere else, it's a job, whereas teaching it's everything, it encompasses so much. And so that letting and reminding them, you still have to take care of yourself and your family. That's always going to come first. That's better than any jeans or comfy pants pass.
Yeah, and they have to feel love, right? So follow this person right next to me, right here to my left, Josh Tovar, because I don't know if you followed him this whole week, but he had everything from popcorn to chocolate to candies. I mean, there was everything out there. And you know what? I can't see a teacher that's not smiling, right? His teachers are always happy. And so happy teachers make, happy kids, right?
I put a $5 on top right here before I take the picture. I'd like to, before we get on right there, big welcome to Miguel Gonzalez, who was part of the Assistant Principal Roundtable, episode 16. Thank you for being here. And part of the Fantastic Four, Shika Houston. Thank you for being here. I wonder where Tammy's at. But you know what? Thank you for being here tonight. Hey, leaders, real quick, let's get started right there. Justin, let's talk about this. Right now, as someone sitting in the main chair, what do you look for as a leader in the teacher realm? What does that look like for you? Because you know what? With this exodus, both from superintendent, area soups, it's all going up real quick. So how are we preparing that culture? Hey, Nick, I have no idea, but you better turn on the light bulb, man. I only see your.
I'm gonna get you. I got you.
Okay, brother. I don't know what happened to the light bill there. Okay, so what do you look for to make sure that you prepare that individual for the next level? Administrators, we're moving up real quick. across the United States. We hear that. And number two, your assistant principal. What is your expectation for that assistant principal? So those two things. What do you look for in a leader in the classroom level? And number two, what do you expect from your assistant principal? You don't have to go into real deep. Just give me one idea for each one, because I'm pretty sure we all are on the same page. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I'm for a teacher that might potentially be moving up. I'm looking for somebody who's mission driven, who believes in kids, who's ready to take on additional challenges, but also is a bridge builder, somebody who brings people together on a regular basis. Because I believe 90% of success in the principalship is being able to connect with people, being able to have that empathy and understanding, that emotional intelligence. That is the job. So asking teachers to be a part of different committees and lead into that, and to make my brain hurt every single day. And like Jimmy Costa says, never be the lid for where people are going. So if they know our core values and where we're going, they don't need to ask for permission. They are just going for it. They know that we're mission focused and student centered, and we're going to get after it. And as far as assistant principal, my assistant principal is co-principal with me. So they're not disciplinarian. They're in classrooms. I have given Marcus Matas is his name. He's absolutely amazing. I call him my co-principal. We are leading this together. You're not doing lunch duties and those kinds of things. You're getting in there and you're getting after it with teachers and helping support and drive the mission home. So I'm looking for somebody who's ready to be a principal and get after it and not do the minute detail stuff.
Donna, talk to us.
When you said what we're looking for in teachers, you mean when we're hiring new folks, what we're looking for?
Yes,
hire?
you know what? All over. Are we looking for what leadership has to come at the ground level? You know that.
Gotcha.
Well, to make sure that we have a good culture in each hallway in the body of the building, we need to have that leadership.
You got it. So like Nick said, I'm looking for teachers who love kids, who are going to be all in, and who, first of all, are engaging and creative and are willing to do whatever it takes to connect with kids. But above all, I want them to care about my kids and love them. If I have that, I can't teach that. I can teach.
Exactly.
I can't teach loving kids. So that's what I'm looking for in a teacher. And in terms of my assistant principal, I think what's most important is consistency in terms of messaging. So he knows where I'm headed. We're headed there together. You know, whether I'm in the East Wing and he's in the West Wing, if we're asked the same question, we have the same answer because we have the same mission. We know where we're going. And so I don't have to wonder what he's saying, and he doesn't have to wonder what I would say, because we both have the same answer. So consistency is a big deal, and teachers appreciate that.
Beautiful. Exactly. Nick, talk to us.
Justin hit it. Empathy. Kids deal with so much. Our teachers deal with so much. No matter what, we have a responsibility every single day to take care of kids, to take care of staff. Now, being a father and my children are in school, I see education a whole different perspective. My building has to be intact. I go crazy with safety. I go crazy with structure, discipline, leadership of the teachers. It's a whole nother challenge because I feel like my children are in the building, and I want my teachers to know that. I want my parents to know that. But empathy, Justin hit on now. We really have to take a step back and see what our children are going through. We can have children that go through single parents. We can have children that sleep in a bedroom, a single family bedroom apartment. We really need it's relationships first. It's understanding a child, then the education.
Yes.
Build connections, build relationships, love children, and then education comes second. I mean, Justin hit it. I mean, it's very simple. We put education on a pedestal of making it so difficult, but it's very, very simple. Love children, give your best, lead the way, and your teachers will follow. Your administrators will follow, and it's very, very simple.
Awesome.
Angeli.
I agree with what everyone has said. I want to hit what Donna said too. There's a withedness to individuals that you just can't teach. And if they have a withedness of what good teaching is and what it means to be around a kid to grow them, that's a mindset that no book can, there's just not enough research or practices for me to give them. For our teacher leaders on campus, everybody has a leadership role on campus. And no matter what the capacity is, we do a lot with our department heads and our leadership committee. One of the strategies that we have built is what a teacher on our campus looks like, almost a profile. So when we're hiring, if there's not someone from the department available, they still trust that we're looking for, people that are like-minded on our campus, and they know that that next teacher is going to come in and carry their weight. They also know that they've got the mental capacity to handle the hard things, and know that they're going to be there every second for those kids. As far as my APs, I have 3 amazing APs, and I always just remind them that it never stops. Learning never stops as you're growing as a leader yourself, and so staying coachable and having a mindset that there's not a problem that can't be fixed. But remember, it's not always an unsolvable mystery. Someone out there has solved it. We just have to tap into everybody to find it.
Thank you for sharing, everybody. Hey, out in the audience, don't just stand there. Let's type away. Let's click away. Tell us why. What is your vision for that? Dr. Moreno, take it away.
Awesome. You know what? Every principal has a great story. I was a principal for 20 years, and I can tell you a gazillion stories. I want to know. I want to know about a success story that you've had sitting there as a principal, and how could you have handled problems differently? So let's start off with Angelie. Angelie, you need to correct me. I'm so sorry. I was calling you Angelina, but I have light now.
Well, it's such fine print. So a success story that I've had, when I was student teaching, I met a teacher that just inspired me in all ways, and continued me on a path to become a principal. She did not do that, but she saw that in me. And so one of the things that I am intentional about every year is having a purpose and to stay driven with an individual that's on my campus. And so this particular individual was my secretary, and we have a Grow Your Own program in our district. And so I just kept at her, encouraging her to do it. And so 4 years later, she's back with me teaching. And that's just a success. I feel like she was my student all along, and just making sure that I'm out there still finding people that want to go into this profession for the right reasons, and they want to grow. So lots of success stories, but that one just, being with somebody every single day and knowing that they have the potential to go and be a great teacher, and seeing her killing it every day is a huge success for me.
That is so awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Donna, what's your success story you want to share?
So I always think of the student that we so easily could have lost, who just did not want to graduate, didn't care about school, wasn't engaged. I've got several faces in my brain right now. I'll pick one. I could pick many, but I'll pick one. Gabe. Who knows I tell his story. I actually tell his story on the road sometimes. Just a real angry freshman, just kind of a tornado when he came into my building, and he wasn't into it. His family wasn't into it. He got in so many fights when he was a freshman. Just an angry young man with some challenges all the way around. And really, it was all about, we've said it before, it was all about building a relationship with him. And we went rounds in terms of discipline, because when you've got a student who's acting out that much, he spent a lot of quality time in my office. But, alongside the discipline was the relationship building. And quiet moments, when he would come down from being angry, and just really connecting with him. And watching him grow over the 4 years and starting to love school and starting to love to come to school, and the relationships he made at school were just such a big deal for him that you know,
So it
he's
changed it.
graduated now. Yep, he's graduated now 2 or 3 years ago, and I still hear from him. I still see him. He comes to visit. So he's just a success story, and his life is going to be great. He's going to be great. And it's
Awesome. What about a problem? What about a problem that you could have handled differently?
So I think when I was younger, and maybe less patient, it would have taken me longer, and did take me longer to figure that out with the Gabes of the world. So I think we butt heads a lot longer when I was younger. And it took me longer to figure out that connection had to come first before the student could disarm and engage in school. So
True. Awesome. Nick.
It's all about failure. You have to fail. You have to find those students that you can connect with that fail. I failed so many times in my life. If it was a teacher test, if it was the administration test, if it was any failure, you have to connect with those students that struggle every single day, because they see what's real. And if
Yeah.
you're not in the classroom seeing what's going on, they know. Children know if you're real or you're not real. So when you get the connection with the students, you know what? Mr. Rose, he's kind of real. He's got that city swag in him. That's the kind of connections I want to get with. And I've dealt with students that have, you know, if a mother's in rehab, if a dad's in jail, you have to show. Justin hit it. It's empathy. You really have to connect with that empathy and be real every single day. Every child is different. You can't take Johnny with Samantha over there. Every child is different. Connect with it. Bring that child into the classroom and into your office and have a conversation. What is going on? Sweetie, talk to me. What's going on? And be real. If you're real with them, they will trust you so much more if you're fake. You know, that's the way I work every single day. I wear my heart on my sleeve. My teachers know it. My students know it. And you have to be open and honest to connect with the child.
Hey, Nick, and what's a problem that now looking back, you would have handled it a little differently?
You know, I dealt with, you know, my doors open to everybody, but, you know, everyone deals with certain matters differently. You know, I dealt with gangs in my old building, and I let a gang member in my building because his niece was in a building, and I want this student dealt with this. But you have to be real with either an SRO officer, but be honest. You're not going to talk to that child. You're going to talk with me. I'm the leader of the building. Let's have a conversation. You're not going to intimidate me. This is my house. These are my teachers. These are my students. These are my babies. If I would act differently, in which I have now, being like 7 years in this profession, I'm going to go outside. You're not going to come in my building. You're not going to put my children in jeopardy. I'm going to go outside to you. Let's have a conversation. Let's be respectful. If there's something that we could focus on, what is important, let's handle it there. If we can be respectful, come in my office, let's handle it. But not letting everyone in the building because they want to, but doing it for the purpose to be respectful and kind, but also taking care of our children in the building. I will go outside to you. You won't come to my building.
Good advice. Anjali, I'm going to ask you about that problem in just a minute if you want to think about it, okay? Justin, what do you have?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest success is about 10 years ago, I flipped a switch on looking at our staff members and believing them just like we hope our staff members are looking at our students. And if a student is struggling, we would never hope that a teacher would give up on them or boot them out of the classroom or look to expel them. And the same concept is, if a staff member is struggling, how do we help them be successful? How do we not label them and say they don't care or they're not in it for kids? Some of the things that just might go through our minds. And my initial failure as a principal was, okay, this teacher needs to get out of here. I either non-renewed them or moved them to a position where they just left. But now I need to model the way for our staff members. They didn't start into this profession to go in and fail kids or struggle with that. Nobody goes to school and say, I want to suck today. So how do I make sure that they feel success? Because teachers are ultimately the difference makers for our kids, and every person in the building is ultimately a teacher. So my job is to not give up on the staff members and model that way, just like I hope the teachers are not giving up on kids. So I failed earlier in my career. And so if it's teacher or staff member struggling out, I hold up the mirror like Caffelli talks about all the time, and I say, what can I do differently to support this person? Because there is greatness within them.
Awesome. And something you would handle differently looking back?
Yeah, I'd say, like I said, like before, where I would non-renew people and all that, I would hold myself accountable differently.
Yeah.
Going back. Yeah.
Awesome. Angeline, do you have something that you, after looking back and saying, you know what, I could have done something better?
Yeah, I think it's very similar to what Justin was saying. But I went into the principal role thinking, that I was going to save the world and that I could do it all. And I found out very quickly I needed to tap into everybody else around me and listen to what their ideas were, and know that I did not have all the answers, and that sometimes, putting myself in the back and that was hard, because when you're in leadership roles, you're always looking to be the person that makes the decisions, and that's not what was needed. And so my collaboration with my peers and everyone around me, down to getting input from kids, is what makes the decisions the best. So
absolutely, having input from kids, I love that. I've heard principals have like student roundtables, right? And so kind of getting input, and especially when you're trying to change the menu in the cafeteria or something like that, it's so important for kids to have input. So I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So team, I mean, look guys, if you're in Iowa right now or Wisconsin, all the parts of the country are right here. And notice how beautiful the mindset is. But hey, administrators, we all know not a lot of people that sit in a chair think the same way like us. That's a fact. All right.
Yes.
And so we just present now to you that what best practices are on successful campuses. That's why all the leaders are here, because they bring awesome culture to the hallways, the body of what they live in. And it's tons of years of experience. And I'd just like to ask you this, guys. I shared with you at the start of the show, what's troubling me. I'm asking you right now, what troubles you about our field? What's one of the things that it's at your front? We all have that one thing. It could be regional. It could be your district. It could be the whole country. Angeline, what troubles you?
Right now, what keeps me awake is everything that I know my kids are experiencing in a world that they don't necessarily understand, but have to live in it. They've got to survive in it. And so, with the recent just shootings, and we had a student that passed away this past weekend due to an accidental shooting. And just knowing that they're facing some tough things that I don't know if I was sheltered from it, or it just, without social media, they just didn't hear about it. And so just the things that they have to see and hear and try to figure out how to navigate through it, even though developmentally, I don't know that they're always ready for it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Donna, what keeps you up at night? What troubles you about our field?
What troubles me is that we are, and folks have talked about this a lot recently, people are divided. We're headed into another election season. God help us all. And, as a country, we're divided. As a society, we're divided. Our communities are divided in a lot of different ways, not just politically. And so what troubles me is I want them to stay rallied around schools and rallied around their kids. Everybody's kids go to school, right? The left, the right, the middle, all walks of life, all the races, everyone goes to school. And so if we could all stay rallied around our schools and the people who serve those children, that would be amazing and would be better for our kids. So it'd be nice if folks didn't go after the schools.
Amen. Amen. Love it. Nick, what troubles you? What keeps you up at night?
Everything. I'm a dad, you know what I'm saying? I'm a dad. How can I impact the child every single day? How can I impact the teacher every single day? But I'm different, man. I'm me. I failed so many times in life, but I want to have those conversations of my failures with my students that I didn't pass a test. It took me 4 times. Um, I did struggle, but I'm in a chair that no matter what, I'm going to love you. I'm going to make sure that I love you as much as I love my child that comes home every single day. I'm going to protect you because I see that every single day. My job as the principal is walk the building, make sure my building is safe, make sure those babies are safe, make sure they're going home to their parents every single day. And if I have to be reaching out to other districts and other schools to do that for my baby, I'm going to do that. Um, you just got to love kids. It's very simple. We take education to a whole nother level of assessments and all this other nonsense. Love first, teach kindness first, and no matter what, that will lead the way to make buildings and schools so much better.
Thank you. Justin, what keeps you up at night, brother?
What keeps me up every night is because I believe we are literally saving kids' lives, and when we're not reaching 100%, we can celebrate going from 50% to 70% to 80, 90. Oh, well, great, we hit 95%. We're still missing 5%, and would we be okay with that if those 5% were literally our kids? And I look at I have 900 kids in my building, and they're literally all my kids. So we can't fail a single one, and yet we are failing them. So it literally is causing me to stay up at night. I need to learn to flip the switch, the professional versus coming home and being all in for the family. But I think we're literally saving kids' lives. So if we fail even one kid, I take it personally.
Hey, leaders, thank you for sharing. You opened up yourself publicly. This is our biggest audience we've had in all our podcasts so far. Thank you very much for opening yourself up because you know what? Remember, everybody out there, hey, Idaho, sitting in our chair is not easy. I'm going to let you know that. And a lot of people have that Monday morning quarterback every day with our chair, and it's not easy at all. And we are parents, like Nick states, all of us, we all have our own kids. We all face this adversity like Donna describes. And you know what? It's not easy to hold a community together. It's not easy. And I value you guys sharing that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for that. Dr. Moreno?
It's we just have to juggle so much as well, right? And so that's what's hard about the principalship. I think a lot of people do think it's easy, and it's not at all. I want to talk a little bit more about growing your PLNs, your professional learning networks, because guess what, you guys, this is not easy, and we always need to kind of look out and seek help. I know when I was in the principalship role, I'd always kind of call my friends somewhere in another district, because you have to kind of sometimes be discreet, right? You can't just talk about, your problems with the people next door or something. But so my question to you, and we're going to start off with Nick. How can you, or what can you recommend out there to the audience and how to grow their PLNs? And what organizations do you suggest people should join?
Network.
How do you do that?
Listen, I go crazy every single day. I've when my girls are to bed, I have to get on Twitter. I have to get on LinkedIn. I have to promote my building. I have to promote myself. This is my brand, Nick Edwards. NE, be kind, work hard, be great. Every single day, I'm putting that in my building. I'm putting that in my children. I'm putting that out there because that's what I believe in. And if you don't believe in yourself, how can the people behind you follow? So you have to be very positive. You have to go out there. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And that was one thing that was very difficult. And that's why I love Josh, because Josh brought me on his first podcast ever. And I was shell shocked. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going on Josh Tomar's podcast like 3 years ago.
Now you know how I felt.
Yeah, you know how it is. But you have to do it. You have to step out of your comfort zone. And you have to get out there so people see who you really are. That's why I started my Self Reflect Saturday. I have to get out there. I have to help. It's all about helping. And it's all about the struggle. It's all about the grind. Put something out there. Josh is my guy. If you're teary-eyed like Josh right now, like if that's about me, I love it because he helped me get out there. Him and Dean Pappard, they took care of me. They brought me in this whole thing. And that's my job right now, is to bring the other people in that are on Twitter, that are LinkedIn. Follow me. I got you. You want to have a conversation? Shoot me an email. Shoot me a text. I got you, because we're all in this. Like Josh says, we're all in this together. It's a struggle. It's a grind, but we love kids. Let's do it together.
So getting on Twitter, LinkedIn, and is there any organizations are you involved in now that you think other people should join?
I just think you need to follow the best people that love kids. There's so many people out there: Darren Peppard, Josh, John Alsheimer, Don Epps, Chuck Moss. These are guys that I went to North Carolina to have a conversation with. I have a website. Put your brand out there. Put what you believe in, and people will buy in. Just have a conversation. You're not better than nobody. I will go clean with my custodians. I will clean a table with them every single day. I will take care of them. I will check on their family. Like, it's very simple in this whole profession, is to be kind. And that's my brand. Be kind, work hard, be great. It's very simple. It just, I don't know. We make education so difficult, but just love kids and love each other and go forth.
Oh no, I think we lost Mari. Her electricity bill in Honduras got cut off. Hey, Donna, talk to us. Let us know. How do you grow a PLN, and what organization should people follow?
Well, I'm obviously a big fan of the NASSP. I mean, I can't say enough good things about them. There's resources for everything out there. There are networks, professional networks for everything, from aspiring leaders to first-year leaders to people of color, LGBTQ leaders. Everyone can find some way to connect to the NASSP. So I can't say enough good things about them. And also on a more local level, I have my local network of principals in my geographic region. We get together once a month. We email or text each other very regularly. Questions come up, things in the region, whatever. You need to have your people that you can reach out to. So both of those things.
Beautiful. Anjali?
Yeah, I agree. NASP has been amazing. Just meeting people from all over the United States. But, just start small. I started out with my local state organization, went to a lot of the regional meetings, and now I sit on the board of directors for the state. Then joined NASP and have reached out. But going to conferences, like what Nick said, just putting yourself out there, get out of your four walls, get out of your state lines and get out there and see, what everyone else is struggling with. We all have a lot of the common problems, and we're stronger together. We have another organization in Texas. It's Into Learning. And they are just principals. And as a secondary administrator that, I spent 20 years in elementary, I was able to join a network and grow so much quicker through that organization because it's just principals. And so that was a huge, and they don't stop. It's not like you go through the training. They're constantly reaching out. And there's just so many conferences out there that are global as well, attending some of the PBIS conferences, learning what other countries are establishing for their kids too is helpful.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's so true. Justin, Colorado, talk to us.
Yeah, social media is huge. Twitter, connecting with people. And there's so much free PD that's out there, whether it's Cafeles every Saturday. Josh does like an incredible job of see him working out and then also reflecting on his podcast. So double duty and surrounding yourself with people who are smarter and better than you, and social media and all these aspects. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And so by branching out in your PLN, people who are honestly doing better things than me. So how can I learn from them and get better and connecting? I can call Jimmy Casas right now on the phone, and he'll do a quick reflection session with me in 2 seconds. And I would have never had that if I hadn't reached out and been social media, whether it's through X or Instagram and even TikTok. I've hired 2 teachers off of TikTok, crazy enough, but yeah, whatever it takes.
That is a first for me. Thank you. I have not heard of an administrator hiring off of TikTok. I love it, brother. That is beautiful. I love it. And so we're about to close off our show with the lightning round, the Échale Ganas questions. Hey, remember, everybody, the whole purpose of this podcast is Echándole Ganas, Puras Ganas podcast. And what is ganas? Ganas is a word that totally embraces a whole Hispanic culture. And I'm not going to stop saying that because we might get new listeners. Remember, exactly right, on the big muscle right there, ganas is said from great-grandmother to daughter to child. And you know what? It's not just a word. It's a philosophy. It's a way of life that our people say. And there is no equate. There is no equal word across the world that says what a culture says in that one small word. So I need you to échale ganas, everybody. I need you to motivate those educators that are going to start work tomorrow with your words. And we're going to start off with Donna. Donna, here goes, lightning round. It's a lightning round, not a dissertation. Give advice to either a new teacher or an administrator.
Be all in. All in. This isn't the kind of job you can do halfway.
Read a note, an email, a text, or from a teacher, student, from a student that wrote you that inspired you.
So I pulled up, I'll read excerpts of an email I got from a parent when we pulled off the graduation in 2020. Basically he said, I assume you didn't learn how to conduct a graduation during a pandemic while learning to be a principal, but your humanity and responsible concern for students showed through. The weather was perfect. You have good karma. Love that.
Woo! Que bonito. Send some flowers to a current educator that inspire you. And why do they inspire you?
Well, I'm going to name a first-year teacher. I just hired a 22-year-old straight out of college, and my own daughter's 22, so I really felt that one. And I thought to myself, I'm hiring the next generation of educators, and there's not a long line of young people getting in line to be educators. So she inspires me. I'm going to take good care of her.
Tell the people one person they should follow on social media.
Will Parker, Principal Matters podcast.
Agreed. Tell the audience one song that embodies you, that represents Donna as a person.
Pomp and Circumstance, guys. I mean, come on. It's all about graduation. I started humming it in April. Do a little march around school. Come on.
One quote, your favorite quote.
So I'm going to go with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that lead others to join you.
We all have a cheat food. What is your cheat food?
It's ice cream all day.
How can people reach you?
Ice cream all day, yeah. How can people reach me? They can reach me at my email, dhayward@rsd17, Regional School District 17.org, or follow me on Twitter at Donna Hayward.
Love it. Justin, are you ready? Échale ganas. Give advice to either a new teacher or an administrator.
Believe in kids, believe in your staff, never give up on them.
Read a note, an email, text from a teacher or a student that wrote you that inspired you.
A 6th grade kid gave me a note and actually did this art project, and it said, you're the reason why I come to school every day.
Woo! Send some flowers to a current educator that inspires you, and why do they inspire you?
Our 8th grade ELA teacher, Beth Marksburner, 87.2 median growth percentile. And scores are scores, but when you go in her classroom and when she talks about kids, her eyes actually, you can just see the passion. Like if a kid's struggling, her eyes will tear up even a little bit. That's how much she cares. Beth Marksburner, 8th grade ELA.
Who should people follow on social media? One person.
Rudy Cafelli.
What one song embodies you, my man, as a person? Una canción.
Till You Can't by Cody Johnson.
All
Taking
right. What's your
chances,
favorite
taking
quote?
risks. Samuel Beckett, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better the next time.
What is your favorite cheat food?
Pizza or outlaw wings.
Oh, Outlaw Wings. There you go. How can people reach out to you?
Uh, X is probably the best, at Justin W. McMillan. I have it right there on the screen. Connect with me. Love to make our brains hurt together.
Nick Edwards. Give advice to either a new teacher or administrator.
Be different. Be different. Just be you. Be different.
Love it. Read a note, an email, a text from a teacher or a student that wrote you that inspired you.
We started last year putting our teachers out there on the spotlight, and I had a teacher, 23 years teacher, and she sent me a text and she said, Nick, I have not been recognized in 23 years, but you put me on the spotlight. Thank you for what you do in this building. We appreciate you. We love you, and that's all that matters. I win.
Send some flowers to a current educator. Why are you sending it to them?
My wife, she takes care of my girls. Kindergarten, preschool. She's OG trained. She's a preschool. She's special ed background. That's my go-to.
Who should people follow on social media?
Darren Peppard.
There you go. One song, una canción that embodies you as a person.
Centuries Fallout Boy. You're gonna remember me one day. If I'm wrong or right, but you will remember me.
Your favorite quote, sir?
Be kind, work hard, be great. Nick Edwards, my own quote. Who cares about everything else? It's mine, and I got it.
What is your favorite cheat food?
Chocolate chip cookies every single day.
What is it?
Chocolate chip cookies.
All right, got you. How can people reach out to you and connect with you?
Nick_Edwards EDU or nickedwardsedu.com. Follow my website, and I'll be glad to reach out and talk to you, whatever I can do to help.
Angeli, vamos a terminar duro. Let's finish strong. Give some advice to either a new teacher or administrator.
I just tell them adventure awaits. Go find it.
Beautiful. Read a note, an email, a text from a teacher or a student that wrote you that inspired you.
So my inspiration right now is my own kid. We have a safety dog in our district, and my kiddo spent 10 years in the military as a canine police officer, and he left the military because he saw the need that was in schools right now for safety, and decided to serve in a different way. And so he just embodies the whole pay it forward that keeps me going every day.
Love it. Send some flowers to a current educator that inspires you.
I'm sending it to Appalachia High School so they know that we're still here. They have a hard road of grief and healing, and I just want them to know that we're here and we're supporting them in prayers and love.
Amen. Thank you for saying that. Who should people follow on social media?
David Arancibia. He has been an inspiration to me recently.
Of course. One song, una canción that embodies you as a person.
This Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys.
There you go. Your favorite quote?
I end every announcement, every newsletter, everything to my teachers and my students with, remember that I love you.
Love. Thank you. What's your favorite cheat food?
It's chips and salsa. In Texas, it doesn't even matter what salsa it is.
Exactly. Agreed. How can people reach out to you, ma'am?
I'm on X is best, Angeli_Morales, and I'm on LinkedIn, Angeli Morales.
I'd like to thank you very much, everybody. Look at that. That was 1 hour and 20 minutes. Así de rápido. That quick. Really appreciate you being here. You brought the fire and the knowledge. Remember that this is just another way to connect with others. You should be connecting with all these individuals right here because they bring the knowledge, the experience, and their colleagues have honored them with different awards. Hey, you know what? Check out Nick. He's going to be presenting at North Carolina Middle School Conference, and everybody else. These are the type of connections you all need to have. So join us next week. We're going to have our teacher roundtable number 1. Then we're going to have a coaching podcast number 2, a principal roundtable number 3, and more great things, because you know what? We're not alone. You choose to be alone. All of this is for free. All it requires is your time that you learn from awesome educators like this. we are not alone. The great thing about the cell phone is it connects us with individuals from Connecticut, from Colorado, from New Jersey, from Northern Texas, and we're all in it together. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Fantastic Four members, thank you for being here. David, thank you for closing out right here at the very end. Thank you for being part of the show, and we will see you next week for the Teacher Roundtable number 1 on the PGP podcast. Guests, hold on tight. Don't let go.